Astra Travelers, and welcome to another episode of Tales of Teyvat, a Genshin Lore Podcast. Last week, we bickered back and forth about whether or not Jean was treating Noelle right, as we spoke about the almost night Noelle. This week, we'll be talking all about our favorite chef, Xiangling.
Are you looking to satisfy a fiery hunger deep in your eye bellies? Well, join us at our website, talesofteyvat.com, where our stove god, Tiff, has cooked up a fragrant and delectable page for each episode that we do.
I'm a Guoba. While you're on our site, check out our past episodes and seasons, artist spotlights from the community for every topic, and some other goodies.
Finally, feel free to email us at talesofteyvatpod@gmail.com to let us know your positive thoughts about this episode. All other letters, as established last week, can be left with Albedo at the door. Additionally, travelers can feel free to follow us on Ko-fi, where you could buy us a cup of coffee or a can of Diet Pepsi, Diet Dr. Pepper, a mellow yellow, whatever your heart desires, to keep us caffeinated as we edit, research, and record. You could also check out our very small merch shop there. And travelers can also feel free to follow us on YouTube, where we do put out some more engaging video content. We are at Tales of Teyvat Pod over there as well. Now, before we jump into things, jump into the pot, the hot pot, the miso soup. I don't know. Before we jump into anything, we do have a special guest with us here today. You may remember her from our Honkai for the Holidays episode. Was it Honkai for the Holidays?
Uh-huh.
I was like, how many Honkai episodes have we done?
Too many. It's been one and it's been too many.
That is so rude.
Who sings the Never Enough? Or you've seen her on our official episode. We have Vanessa on with us.
Hello.
And our coaching episode.
Yes.
I forgot about her, like normal.
Wow. I guess I'm going to leave. Thank you for having me and have a good night. Have a good day.
I'll be right behind you.
I am not wanted. No, all jokes aside, thank you for having me yet again. This is the most wonderful time of the year. And I get to talk with you all about my favorite characters.
So Vanessa here is probably one of the biggest Xiangling enthusiasts that I know.
Am I really?
Yes, I don't know many Xiangling enthusiasts, so it does put
She's like, I know none, so you're the only one, which makes you the biggest.
Listen, it's crazy. I guess because I'm poor and I'm free to play, so I have to love her. But that's hard to believe because she is really great. And she is kind of slept on, I think. If people aren't playing with her, I don't know. They probably have better characters to play with. But I think she's a wonderful free to play option.
Now, Vanessa, you're a librarian. So have you tried just being like a little sluttier at work and just seeing how that goes? I've heard that can sort of get you in good with like the leader of, the town. Like, I'm pretty sure if there's a Jean in your city, you're going to become lovers with her.
There was one thing that I learned from Genshin early on is that librarians are slutty. So therefore you are.
I think you guys are watching a lot of TV, a lot of movies.
Just playing Genshin.
Just clips of Lisa.
I will say, I thought you were going to go in the direction of if I was sluttier at work, I would maybe not be free to play. That's where I thought you were going. I can afford a character that's a little better, but no, unfortunately, it's not as eventful as it is on television. There's no sexiness at work at all. I'm actually head to toe in black.
Have you tried just calling everyone cutie and sweetie?
I think that would get me in trouble.
I think HR would have a little problem.
Title IX and all that,
Have you found yourself wearing a very large hat that Brandon
with
hates?
with the doily underneath?
I wish.
With a lamp hanging off the end.
No, it's not a lot of accessorizing going on. As you may or may not know, I'm in an archive all day long. It's probably a hazard to have a big hat like Mona or Lisa or...
Wait, did I say librarian? You're the librarian that Lisa should be.
I want to say that her library is very well kept, though.
That's true.
I wish that our stacks looked as good as Lisa's. That sounded really bad. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah, she keeps a very nice, clean area for her
stacks
books.
and her racks. Am I right?
I walked right into that one. But yeah. I believe that all the books are where they should be in her library and things are being put back. And yeah, I think she's dusting often and I give her credit.
I think Noelle might be dusting often.
Yeah, it's Noelle that's doing the dusting.
I don't know
sure.
that our library is doing all of that.
You just have to hire Noelle.
I was going to say, your library doesn't have an Imaginarium theater just randomly off in a random door that just appered one day.
That's Vanessa's office.
I wish. I would get no work done. I'll say
Wait,
that.
do you work with Wolfie?
Like I said, I would get nothing done if I had such cute colleagues. I mean, my colleagues are cute. They're all very nice, but
Dreams would come true, though, if Wolfie was there.
there's no Wolfie, sadly. He's so adorable.
We would all be there all the time, just going, "Oh, he's so cute."
Yeah, no, it's not that exciting, but we do love our jobs. So
I'm gonna take us back to Xiangling. Sorry, but Vanessa. So you, like I said, big Xiangling enthusiast. Now for me, I can remember maybe playing as her once when I first started, and then Jinyan was really my like big pyro at first. So like what led to you trying Xiangling? Like, do you remember doing a trial or something that really made you say, hey, I'm gonna build this bitch out?
that's exactly what happened. I was totally not paying any attention to her. I was just using D-Luke all the time. He is the first 5-star I got. So I played with D-Luke and, he's fine. He's whatever. But I did test run at some point and she was on the team. But, it's always like a super beefy version of that character that they give you. And I just couldn't believe her little Pyro-nado burst. And now I realize that she's like always on the test run because I guess they're always picking people from the Raiden national team, which is that team comp that's like Bennett, Sing-Sho, and Raiden and Xiangling. So I didn't know. I just was like, why is she so strong? So I basically worked on building her out, getting her C6 and everything so that burst could just go on and on forever. And now she's like my main pyro that I play with. Again, I'm free to play, so I don't have like the Nat 1 Archon or anything fancy. But yeah, she's totally surpassed D-Luke, which I guess is kind of easy to do.
Poor D-Luke.
He's not that strong. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not crazy about her basic like polearm attack and like it's her burst. That's what she's all about. That's why she's a great support. Her charge attack is nice too, but it's all about that Pyro-nado. I did end up getting Sino's polearm by mistake. I got it twice. So she has
twice.
She has that weapon. And apparently that's whale behavior from what the internet and Reddit is saying is like, because I've seen other people's with Sino's weapon on her. Like I've seen other people post that, oh, look at this whale, behavior. And I'm like, that's funny. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, only the best from my baby girl. And I love Liyue. So I'm always excited to talk about any of the characters in this region. But yeah, that's how I fell in love with her, was exactly through the test run and just seeing how great she could be. And she's one of my, like I said, one of my solid Spiral Abyss players. She's pretty much in my party at all times. And I do plan on building Yoimiya up a little bit more so they could be pyro besties, because I actually think Yoimiya is better than D-Luke as well.
Yeah.
D-Luke's fine, but he's just, I don't know.
You're good with a bow too, though.
Yeah, Yoimiya is, I still trying to figure her out. But yeah, I love bow characters. This is really the only polearm I play. With Xiangling, it's like the only one that's solid in my party. I mean, I guess Raiden Shogun too, but yeah, I don't really have that many polearms that I pay attention to. So
interesting.
Now, I've mentioned my thoughts. Tiff and Brandon, what were like your initial reactions and introductions to Xiangling?
I remember I didn't have her for a long time until they put her in Spiral Abyss as a reward for clearing one of the floors. Do you remember that? I don't remember if you had started playing before they did that. It might have been around that time, but I remember she wasn't always. And I read something where it was like, oh, fan favorite is becoming like an actual reward for a spiral floor. So if you clear Spiral Abyss for whatever, you automatically get her. And I was like, oh, I guess people really like her. So I don't remember having her before that. Maybe I did, and I just never used her because like I was like, oh, her regular attacks don't do much. But her burst is, I feel like, just magical. And I also use her now in Spiral all the time. I don't have mine built super well, but I do use her a lot, and I have a lot of energy recharge on her. So that little Pyro-nado is just like spinning constantly when she's in the picture.
Mm.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, well, she's very perky, like when I met her in the story quest. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this character because sometimes people could be a little too perky and like a little too earnest
Yeah.
combined with perky. But overall, I do like her. Like, I do think that I just kind of think of her as like, she's fine. Like, I like her. I don't love her, but I like her.
I remember one of my first things I thought about her was I loved her stupid little band-aid on her leg. She's so cute.
Oh, yeah. Her design is so cute.
It's so adorable. And Guoba's just ridiculously cute. I got her in Spiral with that whole thing that you got her after you hit a certain floor. May have been one of the few times that I like legitimately was like, Spiral, yay.
It was the only time you played
It was the only
Spiral,
time, yeah. But then I had started building her, but I didn't really play with her that much. And then I helped our friend Eric, who is also a mod in our Discord. I helped him clear an ascension, and he loves Xiangling. Like he plays with her all the time. Xiangling and Zhao are like always on his team. And so obviously I was in his account, and I was just like, okay, I'm like, I'll use her. She's like one of the highest characters he had built. And I was like, damn, like this Ring of Fire is amazing. And then I started actually like really working on her. So a lot of times, yeah, like I'll bring her out because I want that Ring of Fire. Because if you can get the Ring of Fire and then Cookie's Ring of Electro, it's just craziness.
Mm-hmm.
And then Barbara's Ring of Healing, Hydro.
Yeah. I haven't tried her with them. I should.
Kaya's Ring of Ice.
Of ice, yeah. He'll freeze
It's a
it.
good time.
My favorite thing to do is Xiangling's burst and then Kaya's burst and then roll around on the ground with Sayu.
So chaotic.
Yeah.
It really is. It like took my brain a second to like see it all.
Mine's a little similar. I usually bring her in with Fischl, with Oz just going around, and then I have Nahida's big like canopy, and then I use the Pyro-nados there, and then I use Kazua's swirl to just bring everything in, and it's like really chaotic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
Now, you guys mentioned how cute Xiangling's fit is, but we got an even cuter fit in the most recent Lantern Rite. We won't get too far into details on the quest. We'll talk a little bit about her presence in it, but we don't want to spoil anything for people who maybe are going to watch the playthrough. So we'll talk a little bit about her involvement, of course, in it, but not too much for anyone who, is getting ready to watch a playthrough because they missed it. She's not really crazy involved in the storyline, but let's talk about this new fit because it's pretty cute.
It's adorable.
Like my girls are getting the love in the game. It's so nice to finally like to see people get new outfits, and it's I've been very happy that it's been people I like. So
I gotta be honest, I like the hat a lot. So adorable. I'm not crazy about the like Santa looking sweater thing. It just looks like Clara from Star Rail to me.
Christmas in July, baby. Christmas in July. Let's go.
I just don't love, I don't know. I guess I'm such a bigger fan of yellow than red.
It's gaudy. It's gaudy. I'll give that.
Yeah, it's just like kind of bulky. I just think her original outfit is a little cuter. But I do really love the hat, which you'll never hear me say normally.
Yeah,
I just want you all to take note.
Brandon likes one hat.
I like a hat in this game.
One hat. Just one. Do you like Sino's hat?
It's okay. I guess because I don't have Sino, I don't spend much time looking at it.
Keep it that way.
Or thinking about it, but it's fine.
I like his hat.
I do not. He needs to take it off.
No, I mean, I would love to see what he looks like without it. But I think with Xiangling, I agree. I had an issue at first with it kind of seeming Santa-y, but then I reminded myself that is more of like the traditional like Lunar New Year kind of look, and I made myself feel better about it.
Yeah, you're right, though. It did look very Christmassy, and I was like, oh, but maybe it's New Year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's like appropriate. It's just not my thing,
Yeah.
I just naturally have an aversion to that style.
Right.
I feel like she has like a nice little haircut in it too. Like I know it's very similar to what she has normally, but like she's got her extra barrette and she's got her like face framing going on. She just looks like I don't know, like she's gotten a little older maybe.
Yeah, it definitely looks a little more like mature.
I appreciate how comfy it looks.
She's so happy in it too.
Yeah.
I like the booties. I love everything. It's so cute. And I saw like a reel or one of those like shorts on YouTube, and it was like they've added hair physics. And so they did a comparison of her like shaking her head in the old outfit. It doesn't move. It's like it just stays still. And then they show the new hair and it does kind of move around and flow. So it's really cute.
It's so exciting to see that. I love when they do subtle updates like that and upgrades. Also, Vanessa, I'm sure you love her hair because it kind of looks like a baby Venti look.
I love her hair, and Sing Show as well. I think like, I don't know, the navy blue hair is just perfect.
I also like that they changed her band-aid to a Guoba band-aid.
Yes. That is so cute. Little details. There's a lot of little details.
There's a lot of little details and stuff, and I appreciate all that.
My last two things on the outfit is one, I think it's really cute because Hu Tao also got a fit for Lantern Rite this year, and Xiangling gifted it to Hu Tao. But Hu Tao is actually the one who told Xiangling to make the Guoba hat. So they're helping each other, girls helping girls. And also, the one qualm I have with the fit is that they made her vision so small. Like, they shrunk it, and now it's on, like, the garter on her leg.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't notice because it's so fucking small. Like, you would think she doesn't have a vision looking at her. It's a little odd.
Her vision normally is on her hip, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is a little odd because I think that like is a canon thing of like do the visions, like can they change the size of their visions? I doubt it.
Or is it just like the casing is changing? Like, because I know I've personally said in like fan fictions that you can change the casings.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I don't know, like I made that up. I don't know how true that is. So I wonder if maybe she just took it out of like a bigger casing and that's how the size of the actual vision is, you know, like the red part.
Right.
He's like, let me get my portable vision for my cute new kid. So cute.
She's like, it doesn't fit my vibe.
Compact vision, go.
But so we meet Xiangling. She's one of the first Liyue characters we really meet, and we meet her in Mondstadt, where she is drooling as she watches boar run. I've never done that personally.
No. Well, have you ever looked at Paimon and been like, is that edible?
No, that's true. Me and Xiangling are not on the same wavelength.
She's hungry.
But I like that she, like, after she even says, like, with Paimon, she says, oh, can you eat her? She's like, oh, like Guoba. And it's like, well, you don't eat your little friend. Why do you think other people are eating their friends?
I think that Xiangling might be doing stuff we don't know about.
Oh.
What do you mean? What does that mean? You think she's eating pieces of Guoba?
Or maybe, like, we know Guoba can become mini Guobas.
Oh,
no. He makes her little cookies of himself.
Like little bow buns of himself, like looking like, the ears.
I hate that. I really hate that.
There was something that said she was kind of a cannibal, though.
Yeah.
They were like, it's like one of her voice lines where she takes damage or something. She's taking like some damage, and it says something like, oh no, my dinner's attacking me or something like that. And so it's like, what's attacking her? Like
it's
people?
Help, my dinner's attacking me.
Oh, well, probably a slime.
I love the idea that's a treasure hoarder.
Yeah, like, is it though?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past her. Honestly, she's just so obsessed with like, we have to be able to eat anything.
So in her voice line about herself, she says about Dvalin, you've seen the dragon in Mondstadt. How big was it? What? No way. Imagine how big a steak a dragon that huge would make.
Yes.
Was she really trying to eat Dvalin?
Yeah, she was.
I think so because she also has a map that she carries with her, and that has things about like the dragon in Mondstadt and like how long it'll take to get there and how to find it and everything. Like, I really think she like is gonna go try to fight Dvalin to get like a Dvalin flank.
Can you just imagine like Dvalin sending out like a cry for help to Venti, and Venti shows up and it's fucking Xiangling. And she's got like a stove set up in the corner.
Yeah.
And she's like, you want to eat, Bard?
She like attaches like cheese graters to like her Pyro-nado thing. And it's just like just scraping off pieces of him.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's my friend.
That'd be so ridiculous.
You're like, no wonder Storm Terror stopped terrorizing everyone.
Is this what happened to the dragons? Like, does this really what happened to the dragons? They were just eaten off?
Probably.
By Xiangling's ancestor?
Yeah.
Why is that under her voice line about herself? Why isn't it just say like about Dvalin? Like, you know how it says who she's talking about? Yeah, weird.
That kind of is like the bottom line of what you need to know about her is that she will go after a dragon so she can cook with it.
I wonder if she'll try to cook Ashtaha one day.
Or a pet.
Yeah, if she hasn't
Oh,
already.
please make a pep in the KFC. But anyway, so we meet Xiangling and she's over stalking her prey in Springvale. So we kind of go up to her and we're like, what you doing? And she's like, I'm trying to get food, bitch. I'm like, okay. And then she looks at us and she's like, you know what? I can't hunt these boars. Can you please hunt the boar for me? Like, I need them. And we're like, okay. Again, Traveler met someone for 5 minutes, is willing to kill animals for them. Noted. And we end up catching some boar, getting her some meat. She makes us a snack as a thank you. And then Alan from Springvale, one of Draft's men. If you don't know, Draft is like the head honcho over at Springvale. He's Diona's dad, the drunk, the liar to Timmy. You know, he's the one who won't tell Timmy that his dad is dead.
Yeah, obsessed with hunting.
I'll volunteer.
Oh my God, Tiff, stop. Raph has to tell him.
That Timmy thing went on for way too long.
It's still going on. No one has told him
Don't
that his
fucking
dad
know.
is dead.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
my
just standing
God.
there waiting.
He's been waiting for 4 years.
Joel also doesn't know that his dad is dead.
Yeah, but at least he has an imposter.
Yeah, he does. He has like a
He's a
fake dad
wappy
now.
Whoppy.
Like, he thinks his
Wow.
dad is there. Timmy is like, where'd you go?
Yeah.
I thought you went for cigarettes.
He kind of doesn't deserve to know, though.
No, he does. But
Mm-mm.
anyway, so we run into Alan, and Alan is like, you guys aren't supposed to be hunting here because this is like where the boars live. And when you hunt where they live, it causes issues with our ecosystem and with our hunting patterns. And it's like yada, yada, yada.
Basically, don't hunt these. These are on my turf and I hunt these, is what he was really saying.
You get fined for that in real life, though. Did he find her? I don't remember.
Our fine was having to go tell Draft.
Ugh.
Oh my God, like that one hoe that fished in Mondstadt illegally. And then we had the option to like turn her in, remember?
Yeah, she was putting like illegal fish, invasive species fish, into Cider Lake.
Yeah.
And Albedo's crew was like looking for her. It was so
Yeah.
weird.
What event was that?
It was just a normal day.
It was a
I don't know.
like a daily.
I don't remember.
Was it a
I don't even
daily?
remember.
Yeah, it was an event.
yeah, like you didn't have to do it.
I just remember how funny it was that we all had this reaction of like, dang, because we live in America where no one gives a shit about the
See,
environment.
that's not true. there are people that fine you for stuff like that. I had a friend that worked on one of those barge boats, and that's like what they did was like count the fish to make sure there was like the right amount every year.
But you know what I mean? It's not like a part
Yeah.
of like everyday culture in the way that it probably is like in other countries where people are like, oh no, you can't do that. You got to separate that. You can't throw that out. You got to like here. It's like, depending on, you know, the state you're in or the area of the state you're in, it's like people don't give a shit.
No, but I do appreciate that whatever nerd came up with the storyline, they went into a lot of detail there about
Yeah.
about the ecosystem. I just appreciate that.
The Cider Lake story was really good too, because it was like, you know, you always are told that Albedo's the chief alchemist of the Knights of Favonius, but you always forget that he's like the captain of the investigation team too. Because like, when do you ever see him investigating?
Does he have a captain hat?
No, but you know, Kaya doesn't either. Or Eula or Hertha, you know, none of them have hats. I would imagine they're wearing captain underwears, and that's why we can't see it, but that's just my thought. But it was fun because you like met people in the investigation squad, and they were like, oh yeah, like Captain Albedo. And I was like, who? Captain? Like, I forgot about that title.
Albedo's like, I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
That meme.
He like kicks Jean off the bridge.
And he's like, at last. Now give us a cutscene.
Like, yes, of Tingari. Anyway, so we go up to we go up the draft, and Xiangling's like seriously apologetic. Like she means it. And Draft is like, yo, you're Xiangling. You're like that famous chef from Liyue, right? And she's like, hair throwback. Yes, I am. And he's like, yeah, like, don't worry about it. Like, we know you here. You're super cool. And then she's like, oh, well, I'm going to make food. I'm going to put slime condensate in it. And he makes a face. And she's like, you making a face at my cooking? And so she storms off.
I don't remember her threatening him.
Yeah, I don't know that she did that, but the record definitely skipped when she said slime. Like, what?
So she kind of like walks off because she's mad. And she runs into Brooke. And we all know Brooke. She's the lady who's always standing around the campfire in Springvale.
She's the first plus-size woman in this game. I just want to point out.
It's true.
I was like, oh, hello.
We've all stalked her house trying to get those damn mushrooms to ascend Barbara and a bunch of other characters.
It's just Barbara. So she runs into Brooke, and Brooke also knows who she is. And she's like, you're that famed Liyue chef. And she's hair flip. Yes, I am again. And then Brooke is asking her opinion on how like she would cook a steak or something. And when Xiangling makes her suggestion, Brooke is like, ugh, that seems too much. And on the moment, Xiangling becomes really fed up and she goes, we're gonna have a cook-off so I can prove to you guys that you're wrong. She might not say that, but that was going on in her head. So she declares a cook-off where she now leaves Mondstadt to head to Liyue, which kind of felt like cheating.
And Brooke is like fine with it because she's like, if I win, you gotta promote my dish at your famous restaurant.
I don't remember if Brooke was being shady or not, but I do have a memory of that. It feels like so long ago.
It was sort of like friendly shade, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brooke knew she had no chance of winning.
I don't know. She seemed awfully confident.
I don't know.
Maybe that's just a chef thing.
Yeah, it could be.
Everyone thinks they're a 5-star.
They live stressful lives, these guys. Chefs.
I can only imagine. So Xiangling runs to Liyue to go get ingredients, and we follow her. And when we're out at the restaurant, this guy comes in, and his name is Olaf, not the snowman. Don't mix them up. And he's like, there's this crazy cryo regivine and mer. And Xiangling's like, I can use the cryo regivine in my meal. And so we go to kill the cryo regivine. And while there, we find these like really rare old ass boars that we also kill and cook. Like, everything's about killing and cooking in this quest.
Wait, are those the Borkings?
Boar.
Bork.
They might be baby boar kings.
Baby Borkings. They're little bork.
In like the one area, you could still run into like the frozen-y boar that give you like
the frozen meat or whatever.
Yeah.
No, they're cool. This is the prime cuts. You got to get them prime cuts.
This is the Angus versus the Wagyu.
I'm just glad that somebody's refrigerating my food. I'm just picking up like raw meat sitting in a barrel for 10 days. At least that one I know isn't going to be rancid.
Ugh.
Until it unfreezes.
I appreciate all of this, though. The boar murder, the cook-off.
Boar
meat. You know why? Because she's introducing cooking to us and material gathering and the cryo flour, like, and the plus-size lady. Like, it's all very Amber without all the extra,
I love how you were like, she's introducing all these game mechanics and the plus size lady.
And Amber without all the extra, like Amber is like fake happy. I feel like this girl's just genuinely wholesome.
Well, and you know what the major difference between the two of them is?
Toxic positivity. No,
one of them has at least one parent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amber doesn't even have a grandparent.
Whose fault is that?
Amber's grandfather. I think it might be someone else's. I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far.
I actually like Amber a little more than Xiangling. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow, you were the one talking about you don't like too much, like, what did you say? Too much earnestness.
Yeah, like
Amber's the worst
cheerful and earnest at the same time. But I think what you're describing is like there's almost like a little bit of a sadness to Amber is probably why I like her a little more.
It was when we brought up the trauma that you were like, yeah, Amber.
Brandon went, an orphan.
That's fair. That's fair.
Orphan
I
lover.
do. I love an orphan. I love
All
an
right.
orphan.
I see what you're saying.
Also, she doesn't like cook weird, gross shit. And as a vegetarian, that means something to me.
Amber cooks steak with a little flag in it.
But not lizards.
Not yet. Just wait. She will.
Listen, my girl's going to win her Michelin star, okay? She's creative in the kitchen.
I could actually see like Amber and Eula getting into their hot spring somewhere on Dragonspine and you're like, oh, such a tough day of wrecking all those hilly churls. I'm so glad we get to just finally relax and be beautiful girlfriends together. And then they look down in horror and they see all of these lizard carcasses rise to the surface of their hot tub. And then Xiangling pops up over the side and is like, hey, you guys, guess what's for dinner?
Or you just see her running around in the background, like hunting boar and like...
It's slime glazed boiled lizard heads.
Oh.
She does like boiling. Like she boils that fish and it's like, come on, girl, why are you boiling fish?
She's queen of hot pot.
I know.
But anyway, so we go back to Olaf and we're like, Olaf, my man, we found these boar and blah, 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 blah. And he's just like really confused. He's like, I can't find my friends. Like, I really don't remember how I ended up where I was when I found the cryo-regivine. And the traveler puts two and two together because they always do, that this man is as old as the boar that we just killed. And that he was also frozen in the ice. Now, this is like Captain America, Captain Olaf.
You're right. It kind of is. I didn't even think of that.
I totally forgot about this.
I remembered this plot line, but I did not remember that it was led by Xiangling. Because Olaf, you can actually still find Olaf, which I'll get into in a second, but he's still out and about. He's an NPC you could talk to after doing this quest for forever. So we bring Olaf back to Springvale, and we actually find out that he is an ancestor of Draf and Diona's. And Draf is like, here, my brother, murmur. And they have a whole little thing where they're like trying to figure out like how they're related, but they can't really piece it together on the family line. So like Draf is like, do I call you grandpa? Uncle?
Did Draf get his alcoholism from him?
Unknown. I think personally that Draf's alcoholism is just a coping mechanism.
For Timmy's dad, you mean?
Just in general. I mean, we don't know what happened to Diona's mom. He's in charge of a whole city.
Oh, true, yeah.
At least one guy died.
I'm not knocking the alcoholism on him. I'm just wondering if his ancestor handed it down.
I also sometimes wonder if Diona... Like, I know that
Are you blaming Diona?
Are you saying she drove him to drink?
No, I was going to say that sometimes I think that Diona might exaggerate his drinking as well.
You're saying my girl's a liar?
No, I just think that she's like an angry kid. Like, and I don't mean age-wise. I just mean like, when you're angry at a parent and it just never goes away. Like, I'm always going to be mad at them for that time they like, dropped my sunglasses into the river and I couldn't get them type of thing.
Oddly
that sounds
specific,
really specific.
Yeah.
That has not happened to me.
Do you want to talk about it, Feeny?
I think Draf is really a drunk and, whatever you got to do.
He was drunk when, from my understanding, when Timmy's dad died. So,
and in her hangout, he was pretty drunk in her hangout.
Whole hangout's about him being drunk.
Alcoholism aside, whenever AA opens up in Mondstadt, let me know.
Maybe the ancestor actually was drunk though, and that's how he ended up being frozen.
Maybe.
He just sat too still for too long.
I was saying maybe he'll have a scene with a therapist. That's
which
on
one?
Horizon. Isn't there a therapist coming?
Well, there's the one on Beto's boat. And what is her name? Mizuki? The Inazuma therapist coming your way. Coming to a city near you after A is done with her. Because A has a lot of trauma to go through.
She'll be there for a while.
Oh, boy.
She might just bring the therapist into the plane of euthymia. You're better off trying to find Beto's therapist. But it's cool because now Draf and Olaf realize that they're related, and Olaf is out and about in Springvale. So you can actually still go and talk to him, where he kind of talks about the troubles with their family tree and their lineage and stuff like that, and how weird it is to assimilate to the norm. He definitely makes fun of them a little bit. He's like, the people of today. And I'm like, okay, Grandpa, calm down. But all this family drama aside, we do end up having a cook-off. And so Brooke gets a partner, and therefore Xiangling signs us up to be her partner, which seemed a little cheating because Paimon is also involved. But whatever, Paimon doesn't do much. And Xiangling wins.
Using the meat of an extinct boar.
Kind of feels like cheating.
She taught you about food preservation. She taught you about Michelin stars.
Cooking with extinct animals, which I thought was funny because you didn't really hear Draf being like, you can't use the meat of an extinct animal. We have to preserve those.
We're like, no.
The laws went out the window with the meal.
Mm-hmm.
It was that good.
You know, it really reminds me of like Breath of the Wild, if you've ever played Zelda Breath of the Wild. When you mix a bunch of random stuff in the cooking, you get like low quality food that they call dubious food. And it's like, you should look up the picture of dubious food. It's like all pixelated. It's just like a pixelated plate. And it like kind of gives you some health, but it's just not very good. It's not very effective. Sometimes Link like gets kind of sick from it, but somehow like this girl has made an entire career out of experimenting with dubious food. And everyone's like, it's delicious.
That is so true. Yeah.
It's so good. It's like Diona.
Once in every, 50 dishes, she hits it out of the park.
Xiangling's dad, who we'll talk about in a second, he actually talks about the fact that he gets sick a lot from the food that Xiangling makes, specifically saying that mint and qingxing flowers seem to induce diarrhea. Just so you all know, it's written out. Don't do it.
Be sure to stay away from that.
But Xiangling is like, I don't know, it bothers him, it doesn't bother me. Maybe I have a strong stomach. But then there's also like this theory that like maybe she's just ingested so many toxins that her body is used to it.
Natural resistance.
She's around that fire and smoke all day long. So yeah, maybe.
That's true. She doesn't even have like receptors in her stomach anymore. They're all burned away. So one thing about Xiangling, if you couldn't get it, is that she's a chef. If you didn't understand that, yeah, I know you missed that amongst all of her dubious behaviors. So Xiangling is a chef, and she is inheriting the Wanmin restaurant from her father, Chef Mao.
Daddy Mao?
Daddy Mao? No.
He's hot. I want to be her stepmom.
Wow.
Chef Mao
Damn.
is hot, and he's like kind of like when next time you go look at him, look at his arm. It's okay.
Should he be on like the next Bachelor?
Oh no, but he's beefy.
He's also like practical, supportive, talented, and he has to be making some bank because that restaurant's very popular. So I think you're onto something. I think he is like a very eligible bachelor if the mom's not in the picture, which do we even know?
Well, one thing you forgot to say is that he's alive too.
Right.
But also, rumor has it that Ningguang has helped to finance the restaurant. So I don't know how much money he could possibly have if Ningguang is financing things. Who knows?
They got to buy new woks every month because she's always like breaking them by like burning up like pyro slimes and flash freezing mist flowers. Like they have a whole budget for woks.
That is true. She does go through a lot of their money. But I took the Ningguang financing the restaurant thing as like when it opened. Like I didn't take it as like she's still paying their bills or anything. But I could, but I guess it's unclear. We don't know for sure. But
she's bankrolling that whole town. Come on.
That's true.
Yeah. But the restaurant is really popular and continues to get even more popular. So it can't be doing bad.
No, you're right. And I do think it's doing well. And I do think it might have been at the beginning as well that she financed it. But it doesn't seem like Xiangling knows about that.
Yeah, I'm sure her dad handles a lot of it. Well, she has to know a little bit because she is really interested in improving their business and growing because she talks about that.
Hence all of her recipes.
Yeah, and like when she gets into like photography and one of the events, she's like wanting to do it to update the restaurant poster to like put up pictures of some of the dishes there to draw in more customers.
Okay. Now, Chef Mao, he's openly like admitted that he started to teach Xiangling to cook because he wanted her to take over the business. He didn't expect her to become as good of a chef as she is, though. And he's really proud of her. Like Brandon said, he's supportive, he's present, he's alive.
He's hot. Daddy Mao.
Let's talk about his good qualities.
He's got a pulse.
As a parent. Yeah.
He's got a pulse. He's nice.
It's more than most parents in this game.
Mondstadt, yeah. Like in Mondstadt, in real life, take your pick. Like
it's got good arms, man. You gotta look at his arms. They're good.
Vanessa's like, he can stop my pulse any day.
He's not like super jacked. Like he's not like
fish.
He's not like what's his name? The guy who makes the tools. What's his name? Wagner. He's not like Wagner. He's not beefy like Wagner. But he's like just the right amount of beefy dad, I'm into it. You can cook for me any day.
So Daddy Mao, when he decides that like Xiangling is ready, he actually gives her his handwritten cooking journal. And, there's a bunch of stuff in there. I'm sure there's probably family secrets hidden somewhere in there too that Xiangling hasn't found yet, where her mom's body is. And in there, she finds what is her new motto in life, which is good food is good food, period. Because in Liyue, there's a culinary war going on.
Yup. The Li style versus the Yue style.
Oh my God. Like really, like we literally just like the Mon versus the Stat. Ina versus
So
the
dumb.
Zuma.
But I love that it kind of helps explain her psychotic need to use all these weird ingredients, because the Li versus Yue style, it has, like you were saying, it's created this like culinary rivalry, and it's gotten like really kind of out of hand the way they make it seem, where it just perpetually escalates the food culture to create more and more pretentious dishes. And so each side is sort of like hoarding all of these like luxurious ingredients that are now impossible to find. And it's like, if you want to make like the ultimate Li dish, you have to have the ultimate Li ingredients, which are not easy to come by.
This sounds like Chef's Table.
When does Gordon Ramsay show up?
I don't know, but Chef's Table is like all about that, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
It's like they go find like exotic ingredients. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Like
Pretty
what
sure
type
it's
of
about that.
exotic?
Just like rare herbs and things like that. High quality.
Like slime condensate. No, that
Lizard
actually wouldn't
tails?
be considered. Yeah, those are actually the ingredients that would not be considered elite. But I did want to say the Li dishes, from what I could gather, are known for richness, color, and strong flavors, whereas the Yue dishes are known for fresh aromas and nutritional content.
I hate that it's like an argument of like, do you want something that tastes good, looks good, but might not be good for you?
I know.
Or do you want something that smells good and will take care of your body? Like, what? What are these options? I want both to ruin me.
Yeah, and fresh aromas. It's like, and so she's basically like, no, screw that. We're going to combine and just serve really good stuff that we can actually find.
And she's not a person to say no to things either. Like, at one point, she finds out that sea beasts and sea monsters make good food, and she ends up on Beto's boat. And Xiangling recommends that she actually go get, is it salt or a specific like product out of the oceans around Gunyun Stone Forest, because TBT to throwing all the salt god shit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I knew there was some good salt.
Havria, yeah.
So he's like, I once killed a god that was made of salt.
And I threw all her shit over there, so it's probably, really good.
Yeah, it's like Himalayan salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fancy
You're
salt.
looking for some pink Himalayan? I got you.
We have Gunyun Himalayan. Go enjoy. So she's not afraid. And as you see, she goes to Mondstadt to try to look for new ingredients as well. So who knows where she's going to go next?
Well, at one point, she really was jealous of people in Inazuma. When you're in Inazuma, if you're doing dailies there is a daily commission, which is from the Gourmet Supremos. If any of you remember that.
Is that little group?
Yeah, it's a little trio.
Yes, because I've been trying to finish that. It's an achievement.
Yeah. One's from, I think, Liyue, one's from Sumeru, and then I think the other one is from Inazuma, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like this trio, and they're trying to, like, become good, chefs or cooks or whatever. And one of the dailies that you can get, you talk to them, they're like, we need some guidance on, like, the best ingredients for this recipe. And one of the options is to go to Wanmin Restaurant. And when you go there, you talk to Xiangling's dad, and he's like, oh, she's actually out in Qingse Village, but I could help you if you want. So he can give you an option.
But it's like, he can help me any day.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh, I got some needs for ingredients, Chef Mao. No, but if you actually go to Qingse Village and find Xiangling, which is like an optional ending to that daily, then she'll give you like some different ingredients to use than her dad would have given. And so she like just writes it down for you or whatever. But then she actually has a little line about, oh, I wish I could go to Inazuma so bad. I could find so many new ingredients. Because at that point in the game, it's still the Sakoku decree.
Mm-hmm.
So she's definitely like interested in like going to new regions. Like I would really expect to see her popping up in the future in some of the other regions.
Yeah, you'd hope.
And just like having the time of her life. Like you're going to see her in Sumeru in some event, and she's going to have a sumpter beast behind her carting like a wagon full of ingredients that she's like taking back to Liyue. Or at least I would hope so.
You're going to be like, ma'am, you can't bring this across the border.
Yeah.
There are tariffs.
No.
Not the tariff.
Okay. So I do have one question for you guys. So I was a little disappointed with some of her backstory because it's just all based around cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know that she's one of the original characters, and I know that they've built her out more in events, but if you were a new person coming in and playing the game and you were just to read like her voice lines about other people and voice lines about her from other people, like everyone that has a voice line about her basically is like, she's a good cook. She loves to cook. We love when she cooks for us. And then there's Diona who's like, I asked Xiangling to give me a terrible recipe and it still came out good.
Yeah.
But they're just like all about food. Food. And it's kind of disappointing because usually you can look at voice lines or like her voice lines about herself and find out some interesting stuff about the character.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of the like more fun, interesting things about Xiangling for the most part are hidden behind events.
So you're saying that dish has many layers? No, I guess it doesn't.
Oh, God.
I got it backwards.
The 7-layer dip?
It's not the 7-layer dip. It's not as enticing as the 7-layer dip.
She's an onion?
She's not an onion, apparently. She's just the outside of the onion.
She's just a little piece of the deep fry.
Mm-hmm.
One-dimensional. They were lazy about that, I will say.
Yeah. And like I said, I understand that she's one of the first characters, and I know that typically they have like a little more like of a niche to them. But some things that we do find out about her is that she's really easy to scare. Hu Tao loves to pick on her. Although she is terrified that one day she's going to turn around and Guoba's just going to like roast her alive for scaring Xiangling.
Yeah.
There's just something about those two running around, and we see it in Lantern Rite this year. But they're just so cute. Like they're cute little friends, and I love it.
They're like an unlikely duo too, because you have in Sumeru, you have the Sumeru for aggravate, as they call them. Sino, Tignari, Alhaitham, and Kaveh. But they're all like adults that are dating. And then you have your like 17 to 19-year-old crew here, which is like Xiangling, Hu Tao, Shangyun, and Xingqiu. And the newly introduced Gaming. We'll add a fifth. And I know like Xingqiu is like, if you see her and she's giving you like a really happy look, that means that she's going to cook you a meal that's going to scare the shit out of you. And she will ask you to try it. And Xingqiu's like, that's when I usually give my food to Shangyun. Like, oh my God, stop. And Shangyun, of course, thinks that her food is too spicy. But yeah, there's not a lot going on in the voice lines. It's a little disappointing. But Xiangling does have some pretty deep Adeptal lore attached to her, though.
I think that the Valen voice line just saves it all, though.
Oh, no.
Devalin Estiner.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they do reveal Madame Ping is her master. And I wonder, is this why she's super powerful? Because she's got this Adepti connection. You know, Yao Yao is super powerful and protected by all the Adepti stuffs. And I know that she says in the voice line that her master taught her how to spear fight or something. So it's interesting. I wonder if there's going to be more about that, you know, as they continue. I mean, hopefully they continue to build her character, because right now we're just getting this chef story, but you know, they went ahead and made a new outfit for her. So there's hope. I think that they actually might want to work on her. Let's see.
And I think this game does this to like several characters, right? Where they really are just kind of one note in terms of like what the conversation is surrounding them. Because anytime Xiangling is around, it's like, it's about cooking, it's about ingredients, it's about going to the Wanman restaurant. It's about eating, her sharing food, her teaching people how to cook. So that's sort of like all that there is. That's like her thing. Other than like we know that she gets spooked easily, which is nice to know.
Mm.
But the only other real like lore that we get with her is just her interactions and her connections and relationships with other people. So we know that she has this really big connection, obviously, with Guoba, and there's this big reveal about Guoba being the stove god. And that's in, I believe, her first event, which was Moonlight Merriment in 2.1.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she's participating in this cooking competition for the Moonlight Merriment Festival. And we try to help her get some inspiration, and we run into Kuching and Ningguang and Beidou, and they're looking at this mysterious rock that was taken out of the ocean. And Kuching tells us that her late grandfather used to know a lot of Liyue history and how the stove god might be like the same or like a different form of Morax. And so we go like on this sort of expedition of like uncovering different Liyue lore from the past. Meanwhile, Xiangling wins the competition and is just sort of cooking that whole time. And meanwhile, Kuching ends up, you know, having this sort of like confession of like, I actually like the other person's food more than yours. Please forgive me. But then she eats some cornbread in front of the mysterious rock, and it breaks open to reveal a Guoba statue. And that's when Madame Peen comes in and tells us that cutscene story revealing Guoba's history, which we covered back in our, I think, Whaley Assembly episode.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This is the Whaley Assembly one.
Yeah, so that was like, those are kind of like the weird, like interconnected things that we just get little nuggets, like little tiny things. Like I feel like she's always just kind of on the outskirts of whatever event or story we're doing, but is also involved in a lot of them because she's just kind of like everyone's friend who feeds them.
But we never really talked about how she first met Guoba, though, either.
Yeah, I think we brought it up in a previous episode, but we should talk about it again for this one.
A really quick backstory just for travelers. One is like, who the fuck is Guoba? So Guoba is the stove god, and he used to be giant, and he could break himself down into little nugget-sized Guobas, and he would run around, and he helped with the Whaley Assembly, which were the gods and Adepti that were in charge of Liyue back before the Archon War. And during the Archon War, Guoba used all of his powers and shrank down to the little baby Guoba that we know today. And his name was Marchosius?
Marchosius. But he shrunk down to a little itty-bitty Guoba baby because he used all his energy to save the Liyue people. That's so nice.
Yeah, and it was like around the same time that Guizhang died, and Zhongli led all of the surviving people and then founded Liyue Harbor. So this was like shortly before Liyue Harbor was founded, which I think was like, what, 3,600 years ago or something.
We'll find out soon. And then, you know, many, many years later, we assume baby Xiangling, because we have seen the cutscene of this.
Mm-hmm.
But a young Xiangling, maybe like 7 or 8, she goes off exploring and she ends up in a cave, and she really can't figure out how to get out of the cave. But she has no fears here, even though she's easy to spook. And she pulls out the 2 pieces of spicy cornbread that she packed, because what 7 or 8-year-old isn't traveling with 2 pieces of spicy cornbread just in case?
I thought it was on the shrine.
Well, she has one. And then she eats one, and then she puts the other one like for later.
Oh, she like put it on the shrine, like, here, I'll just wait for this.
And then he's like,
okay.
hey, he like materializes. And then she like keeps feeding him, right? You could lure me out of a cave. Like you could lure me out of slumber with cornbread. So I feel this. I feel very connected to this storyline.
Yeah. So in this cave, there's a shrine, and she kind of sits down next to it, eats her piece, leaves the other piece out. And when she wakes up, Guoba's kind of looking at her like, you got more snacks? And she's like, oh, you liked it? And he nods his head yes. And she's like, ooh, well, I have jerky. And so she's just like continuously feeding him snacks, and he starts to follow her around. So then she names him Guoba after her favorite childhood snack, which it's Jeyun Guoba. It does not look good.
It's ham and peppers.
Does not look good.
Wait, I thought it was
it's
sticky
a stir
rice.
fry.
I thought it was like the rice that gets stuck to the pan.
There is rice and horsetail in it, the flour horsetail. It's a stir fry of ham and Julian chilies.
Yeah, but I think the word, what you're thinking of, Vanessa, the word Guoba, I think does refer to a little rice thingy.
I want it.
Oh, like in real life or like
Yeah, like in Chinese.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a rice dish that crackles when you put sauce on it.
Oh.
I want it.
Yes, please.
And the cornbread too.
And the cornbread.
Maybe without the spice, because like Xiangling, I'm very white.
Well, Xiangyun's a lizard, so he better
He's
watch
white,
out.
though.
Xiangling's gonna cook his tail that he doesn't know he has.
Mhm.
Imagine not knowing you had a tail until your friend cut it off.
Your friend.
It's a strange thing to imagine. But...
Come on, you're not imagining that now?
I'm imagining him like Winnie the Poohing it around with just a top, no pants.
I just feel like I would have noticed it before.
You don't know. You've never had a tail. How would you know when you would notice it? His pants are so baggy.
Listen, so in your story, Xiangling does not clean his ass.
No. No. I'm just, listen, my dog has a nub for a tail. Like, he has like a little 1-inch nub. Xiangyun might think he has hemorrhoids from the spicy food.
Oh my
really
God.
his lizard tail. So leave the boy alone and stop giving him spicy food, Xing Shao. But anyway.
To be fair, I could see Xing Shou being like, "Oh, Sean, you have a really bad hemorrhoid back here." You know what I heard is good for that?
Carrots.
Spicy food. Oh yeah, carrots. Yeah.
And all the spicy dishes. And Xiangyun's like, okay, cool. Dies. Anyway, so that's a little bit about Xiangling and Guoba, just to give you guys a background, because Guoba is used in her elemental attack. It is like, he's there. He is also friends with Zhongli, so you guys might remember the one cutscene in Lantern Rite a few years back where Guoba is standing outside the Wanmin restaurant and Zhongli is like, hello, good friend. I miss you. And it's like,
Because Guoba doesn't remember him.
It's weird because Guoba can't fully communicate. Like, he just kind of acts excited and gesticulates.
He like lost himself when he shrunk. But yeah, there could be like a potential, yeah.
Like, he recognizes Zhongli in one scene. And then I think there's some other lore where like Cloud Retainer will sometimes go and like sit with Xiangling and Guoba, which I think is a nice little nod to their past, because she was involved in the whole Guili assembly stuff.
Guoba's like, Dad? My dad? My dad?
He's like, do you know where Zhongling's mom went?
That's a good question. Like, do we know?
There is no lore about her mother.
It's Madame
I'm
Ping.
assuming she's dead and like, I don't know. No, I don't think it's Madame Ping.
It's Madame Ping. Madame Ping is just as into Chef Mao as you, Vanessa, and just one day appeared to him as a much younger, voluptuous woman.
Whoa. I mean,
like,
we've seen
nice
that
arm.
version of her.
Yeah, I hope they really work on her as a character to give us some more.
That would be really exciting if whatever war is cooking in this game,
Oh my God.
she's going to get involved in it. So I would love to see her do like a younger form and make her playable.
You're like, whatever war is cooking, but secretly what Brandon means is when Gordon Ramsay shows up and he hosts his big show in Liyue.
I'm thinking it's going to be more like the bear.
Oh no.
Oh,
Does she get to have a
God.
nervous breakdown?
She's trying to get that Michelin star. She's trying to, with these
It
ingredients.
kind of is like the bear, if you think about it. The boar. It's called the boar.
It's called the boar. Yeah.
I've never seen The Bear, but I know what it's about. I want to watch it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But when I was like first being exposed to it, I didn't realize really what was going on. And so I thought that Lip Gallagher from Shameless took over a restaurant that was kind of like a Subway.
It kind of is that. It's Albedo. That's Albedo, by the way.
I know, you're right. That is Albedo. If he was that's who would play him in the live action.
He's like a Michelin chef, and he takes over his brother's restaurant that's like a sub shop, but he tries to upscale it.
So he tries to make a Subway into a Jersey Mike's.
No, he tries to make a Subway into like a bougie fine dining
Interesting.
with the sub shop like element still there.
Is Jersey Mike's not bougie fine dining?
No. But it's
Oh.
delicious.
I might not bougie fine dine ever then. I thought I did it once in a blue moon.
I went to a Jersey Mike's once and I got grossed out because they were slicing everything on like the meat slicer.
Oh, I could imagine.
And
Yeah.
I couldn't eat it.
There are fines for that.
There are fines for that.
So besides all that, in Xiangling, obviously, has a lot going on, a lot on her plate. What other events and things do you guys kind of remember her popping up in?
I don't know, but I love her Diona friendship. I just think they're both like similar. They're both like very good in the hospitality business.
Diona reluctantly.
They both have drag eyebrows too, just like me. She's everywhere. She's always in Lantern Rite, and it's always cooking.
I know she's in a lot. So I went through the Moonlight Merriment event, which was 2.1. The next one she appears in is the 2.4 Lantern Rite. And she's not really in it that much. We just sort of encounter her and Guoba eating a meal at third round knockout with Hu Tao and Zhongli, which is kind of fun because we know that, we already kind of know that she's friends with Hu Tao, but it's interesting that she and Guoba, again, you see someone from Guoba's past kind of hanging out with Guoba, but also her. It's kind of like, are they hanging out with her or with Guoba and she's the tag along?
Oh, the poor thing.
I know.
Hu Tao too, though, at that point, at least would be a tag along.
But then the next one would be Summertime Odyssey, which was 2.8, and that was the second Golden Apple Archipelago TIFF, the one with all the mirages with like Kazuha and everyone. And so she appears in that one in Xinyan's Mirage, where she's having like a memory of her birthday party. And Xiangling and Yunjin come to her house to throw her a surprise party. And we learned some fun little things in that. That's where she mentions that Guoba actually loves to prank her, which I think is funny.
Which is so fucked up because Hu Tao pranks her and Guoba's like, no, only I can do that.
Yeah.
How does he prank her?
I know, right? It's like, how does he even do that? But he also helps out at the Wanman restaurant. How does he do that?
Like, is he just blowing fire?
How does he hold trays and like, I don't know.
They don't ever explain his pranks. They just say that he pranks.
Like, he has skills that we don't know about.
Well, he's a god, so
it makes me wonder if he's like slowly regaining his strength and his like knowledge.
You
Like,
think?
he's growing.
he's strong.
So during that mirage of Xinyan's, she also says that she was asked by Beidou to bring some gifts to her because she was busy scissoring with Ningguang.
My God.
Hello?
Is that in the lore directly?
Uh-huh. That's what it said.
It says.
The gift that Xiangling brought to Xinyan and that is a jade pendant that she got after talking to a bespectacled blacksmith who we talked about back in our Ajdaha episode, who is actually Kunjun from that whole quest line, who was like the guy that was possessed by the benevolent half of Ajdaha.
Mm-hmm.
So he could actually now look through chunks of rock and see what's inside. So he was able to like tell her, oh, there's like actual like pure jade in this. And so she used that to make a pendant for Xinyan. So she's actually, Xinyan actually refers to Xiangling and Yunjin as two of her best friends. And I knew that Yunjin was basically Xinyan's best friend, but I didn't realize that she was so close with Xiangling. So that's a fun little chicken nugget as well.
And we do get to see a little bit of that in this year's Lantern Rite, where like we kind of show up to talk to Zhongli and he is watching Yunjin practice. And we have Xiangling, and she's like, "Oh,
yeah.
Your stuff is always so good."
Mm-hmm.
It's a supportive bestie, unlike Noelle and Barbara.
Just they get along, but they hate each other's work. The next one was Exquisite Night Chimes, which was Lantern Rite 3.4, and that we don't see a lot of her at first, even though when we first decided to go to it, we're like, let's go to Wanman restaurant and hang out with Xiangling. Like, she's always like our first stop, but we end up running into Zhongli before that, and he sends us on like this whole other errand to go like grab some bamboo or something. And then we run into, what's his name? Dvorak?
Margot Meatball.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, that whole storyline happens. And then we later see her at the end of that one at Hu Tao's awkward dinner.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
And
that dinner.
So she's there during that, and she has a lot of like cute moments with Xingqiu and Xiangling. So I feel like that really kind of helped establish more of that friendship, that little like trio. And she mentions that Guoba's not there, by the way. And she mentions that Guoba's not there because he offered to help her father at the restaurant, which is the only reason she could like sneak away during Lantern Rite to be
so
there.
many questions.
I know. But then during the dinner later, she sees Xingqiu throw his carrots into Xiangyun's bowl and tells him that he's lucky Guoba isn't there because Guoba hates seeing people be picky with their food and would have forced him to eat his carrots.
Oh my God.
Not fucking around.
I mean, Guoba did save all of Liyue from starvation, so I get it.
Would he roast them for him first, though? A little fire.
Good question. He probably would have. He probably would have just made a little stove
Maybe you'll
moment.
like them this way better.
He's like, young man, there are children starving in other countries.
Yeah.
And or in the past of our country. The next one was Arataki Blazing Armor Beetle Battle Boot Camp, which was in 4.3.
What was that? What was that? What I didn't hear.
I knew one of you would do it. It's the Arataki Blazing Armor Beetle Battle Boot Camp.
Ah.
Not to be mistaken with the Arataki Ito Blazing for Life event.
Oh, you don't know the rest of it all of a sudden?
What's the other one that's like the super awesome, wonderful, whatever? I don't know. You guys did it last time.
We're just going to do an episode. We have to do like a short where we just recite the names of every Arataki event.
Yeah.
I think Vanessa might be referring to the iridescent Arataki Rockin' for Life Tour de Force of Awesomeness event.
Yes,
that's exactly what I was talking about.
Or, there's like Brandon said, the Arataki Blazing Armor Beetle Battle Boot Camp. There's all these dumb ass names.
We should make sure there's stickers of these. Like they're like the Coachella, like that.
You need it on a tote bag.
Yeah.
2021 or whatever year they did it.
So during that one, we stopped by Wanmin restaurant just randomly, like we always do. We're just like, let's go to Wanmin restaurant. And we run into Yanfei and Kuki at the hot pot stand nearby, who tell us that Wanmin is closed because Tongwen Academy, which is the law school in Liyue that Yanfei and guess what, Kuki went to, we're having like a class reunion type of thing. And since Yanfei is the most senior of the classmates, she chose the location for them to meet at. So she chose Wanmin, but then they ate so much of the food that the restaurant ran out of inventory because guess who else tagged along with Kuki? Ito. And so we just ate like all of their food. And so they're grateful, of course, because it was a lot of business, but now they need to they had to close the restaurant for 2 days to restock. And so Ito and one of Kuki's Tongwen classmates, Hanakato, they go to Yuyun Stone Forest to help Xiangling and Guoba collect some crabs for the restaurant. And so we head over there to meet up with them, and we encounter an aggressive Geo Bishop that Xiangling warns us about and tells us that its nickname is the Crystal Tornado, which immediately reminded me of the person who wrote in asking if we think that could be that bishop that Cloren was raised with. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I got really excited for a second. I was like, oh my God, it's Cloren's sibling.
I do like that idea. I think we should just...
It is really fun. Yeah. We're just headcanoning that. So she and Guoba end up helping out Ito during the beetle battle. So that was also like a fun thing where not just her, but she and Guoba, they kind of end up bonding with Ito and the gang and doing the beetle battle thing against the Crystal Tornado. There's also a cute part during that where Xiangling considers asking Cloud Retainer for help because they're trying to get an advantage. And since she knows that Cloud Retainer is friends with her master, which is Streetward Rambler, aka Madam Ping, she just brings her up, and I got excited because I get excited anytime Cloud Retainer comes up. And then after that, we had Mementos of Teyvat, which was the photo event in 5.0, so Natlan. And during that, Xiangling, like that's where we're going around taking pictures of people doing like their little poses. But that's the one I was mentioning before where she tells us that she's interested in photography lately.
At least they're giving her another hobby, finally.
I know. She's like, I'm actually like kind of into this. I want to update the poster at Wanmen and like put in some good pictures of food to like draw in more business. And then after that, the most recent one, of course, is the 5.3 Lantern Rite, which is from this year, 2025. And we run into her after spotting Hu Tao, and she tells us that she bought Hu Tao's new outfit, which Feeny mentioned earlier, and she bought that for her as a gift. And the bright red is the color of prosperity and the color of Lantern Rite. So that kind of explains like all the red that's happening. And that she did it as a way of like being supportive because she's noticed that Hu Tao hasn't been herself lately. Like she's finding excuses not to hang out. She's staring into space. So again, we're seeing like Xiangling, like little like chicken nuggets of her being more like the supportive friend. She's like noticing when someone's not themselves and like trying to cheer them up. And then Hu Tao shows up wearing the outfit, and they explain that Xiangling actually had Hu Tao's outfit made by a designer from Fontaine, which I think we can all guess who that was, right?
Chiori.
I hope.
I know. I mean, is there...
like there's another perfume lady. There's another designer somewhere.
Don't get me started.
Her rival.
Mm-hmm.
No, but Xiangling said that she ran into that designer in Liyue, who was like, while looking for inspiration to get, to make new outfits, and they started talking and hit it off. So she's also has a connection with Chiori, which would be interesting to see her interact with her in the future. Then we just basically, the rest of it is interacting with Hu Tao. It becomes way more about Hu Tao, of course. And Xiangling is like trying to cheer her up and is like, let's all meet later. We can go to Wanmen. I'm going to make everyone food, same stuff that she always does. And there is a fun part where we meet Lanyan via Kuching, and Lanyan recognizes Xiangling. And Xiangling is like, with the traveler, and is like, oh, I'm just a chef. I'm not one important. Like, you don't feel like you need to include me in the conversation. And Lanyan is like, oh no, like I remember you so much because I remember the first time I ever came to Liyue from Springvale, and I ate at the Wanmen restaurant, and I've been thinking about it ever since because it's so good. So that was really sweet. And then Xiangling also ends up telling us stories about the 8 adepts of Liyue along with Lanyan. Mm. So Xiangling also knows her history, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, and we learned that too, I feel like, during the Stove God arc, right? Like when her grandfather seemed to have been a bit of a historian.
Well, no, that was Kuching's grandfather.
Oh, Kuching's.
Unless it was also Xiangling's. But
no,
I wonder,
me messing it up.
I wonder if she's learned a lot from Madame Ping.
Madame Ping is history.
Yeah.
Or, no, wait. It might be that her father's ancestors were involved. I feel like there's something about that, but I could be mixing that up with something.
Is her father's ancestors Guoba?
No.
Stop the madness.
Imagine.
I forget. We'll have to go back to the Moonlight Merriment thing, because there's something in there where they're all searching for like history of that rock and like the things about the Stove God.
Yeah, but isn't like Kuching and Xingqiu like kind of, they both had some kind of details about it?
Yeah,
from their family,
but they had to go talk to people like in Qingse village.
Yeah,
and I think Wangshu Inn.
I mean, I will say that it seems like Xiangling's family is a well-established lineage family in Liyue.
Yeah,
and so is Xingqiu, so is Hu Tao, I would assume, so is Xiangyun. Like, a lot of these, like, mid-aged characters that we meet, they really have their roots in Liyue. So it wouldn't surprise me if they all were kind of, like, a bit of a local historian, depending on the topic and the niche.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Xingqiu, if you want to know anything about the Guoba arts, because it's dead outside of Springvale besides him.
It's kind of dead in Springvale, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
just to go back to the disappointment of the Guoba quest.
Maybe she's part of it. Maybe she's part of the Guoba.
It'd be great because maybe they can she can put a little spice into it.
She's the gouache chef.
She can heat it up.
Yeah. That quest, I was so disappointed by. It was fine on its own if it didn't have this backstory of the from Xingqiu. Like if we didn't know about it would have been totally fine. But because I was like, ooh, we're finally gonna learn all about this, and it's like dusty old man and some books.
But don't you feel like there are all of these sort of ultimate things that the characters need to accomplish before the end of the game to fulfill their story arcs? Like Noelle needs to become a knight.
Meh.
Xingqiu needs to revitalize the Guoba techniques or Guoba arts.
Xiangyu needs to balance his yang.
Yeah, everyone has their thing. Shenhe needs to become unencumbered by the ropes and become a real person. Everyone has something that they have to achieve.
We'll see if they tie the loose ends. Yeah.
I don't know what Xiangling's is. I guess she just has to stop running away from her restaurant.
Yeah, to get that Michelin star.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Get a bigger restaurant.
Or a new hobby.
I think her thing is ending the culinary strife.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I just think she's so wholesome. She just wants to bring joy to people through food. I think it's just as simple as that. I mean, I could be wrong, but
no, I think you're right.
I don't know. It's not forced. It feels very genuine. But what do I know?
I know nothing.
I take her character like that as well. But I do still think that most characters have some kind of loose end that needs to be tied up before the end.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a storytelling technique. There's always, every character has to have a want and a need.
Yeah.
And a wound, and I think every one of our characters, are striving for something.
Maybe we don't know anything about hers yet because it's about her mom.
R.I.P.
We don't know.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I think so too.
She could just be an adventurer.
It's Alice.
Ew, no. I hate the idea of her having more kids that she can potentially abandon.
I mean, she did talk a lot about KFC, so maybe she really brought her
Not the KFC.
her culinary thoughts over.
All of a sudden, Xiangling's like, I just want my food to be finger licking good.
Yeah.
No.
You're gonna see a collab. There's gonna be another collab. Move over, McDonald's.
It's the new slogan on the new poster.
Yeah.
Wait, did they collab with KFC, or am I imagining
Yes, it was Noelle and D-Luke.
See, they messed up. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, it's true. Although it was kind of fun to see Noelle.
No, it wasn't.
What?
It's never fun to see Noelle. Come on.
Poor Noelle.
Oh, I love Noelle.
No.
But did you guys want to add anything in about Xiangling?
I ship her with Gaming.
Whoa!
That's cute.
I know. I ship her with
that.
I ship her with Gaming, and I ship her with Sino sometimes. That's really weird, but I love a weird ship.
That is random.
You know why? Because my Xiangling has his pole arm, as I mentioned before.
She's got a hand on the pole arm.
It's like, this is my boyfriend's weapon.
Excuse me, Amanda?
He's letting me borrow it.
Yeah, it's very cute. But I like her with Gaming more, just because the leeway and the whole vibe of all the friend group. I don't know.
Yeah, Gaming actually has a cute little thing where he talks about how much he loves her food. But he said that the black back perch stew, no matter how much he washes off the sauce off of the pieces in it, it still stings his tongue.
Yeah, doesn't he call it the volcanic something?
Yeah.
Sauce?
He can't handle the spice, but that's okay.
Actually, so that dish is the signature dish of Wanmin Restaurant. It's really what put the restaurant on the map after she took over.
What's it called?
Even though, did she really take over? It's called the black back perch stew.
So what's the boiled fish? The boiled fish always is it's always her birthday gift. No, it's her.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Maybe that's her specialty dish, not the Wanmin one. Never mind.
Yeah, but that signature dish for the restaurant, it said that she painstakingly came up with that secret recipe, which took her a long time to do. Also resulted in countless bouts of diarrhea.
For her?
Bruised knees, bashed on rocky cliffs, and countless wasted potfuls of food that didn't quite turn out as expected.
She got diarrhea?
Yeah.
And they told us about it?
Well, they told us about her dad's diarrhea.
Yeah.
Well, that makes more sense.
I mean, maybe it was other people's diarrhea. It doesn't specify whose diarrhea it was. It
And
just
Nahida
says,
is like, ha 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 ha. Nahida's like, we love talking about poop.
She's like, the Dookie has arrived.
I'm shocked that they talk about her getting diarrhea. I don't know why.
I adore it.
So weird.
it could be someone else's diarrhea. I'm just saying it just says that it resulted in countless bouts of diarrhea.
Not just one.
No, countless.
Oh, geez.
Which means at least like 30.
Oh,
I don't think they have Pepto in Teyvat, huh?
Not yet.
She gotta go see Baiju.
Maybe she was already working on this when her dad tried the other thing that gave him diarrhea, but
The
then she
mint,
was
yeah.
fine because she's like, there's nothing left in me to come out.
She needs to go see Baiju.
yeah.
She really
Right up.
does, yeah.
No, she doesn't like going to Baiju. She hates his medicine.
She doesn't hate him. She just says it's bitter,
Hates
right?
his medicine.
Yeah, but who likes medicine? Nobody.
She avoids him though.
Her dad is like sneaking Pepto into all of her ingredients.
Speaking of liking medicine as children, I found out a very interesting thing about our fiends and her love of chalk
No.
tasting medicines as a child. And I just looked at her and went, "You've always loved chalk.
Boys love albedo,
It
yeah.
all-
It's been always been about albedo."
It all comes together.
Yeah.
We were out to lunch with friends and we were out to tea to celebrate Tiff's birthday, which was last week. And so we went out for like afternoon tea and we were trying to pick out teas and we were talking about like flavorings and stuff in tea, and we were talking about how people don't like cherry and don't like grape because it's usually like reminiscent of a medicine for them. And I said, yeah, that's why I really preferred when they gave me the chalk tasting medicine, which was always like the pink amoxicillin. Like everyone would say that it tasted like chalk. And so I was like, that's why I liked the idea they should just be giving me the chalk medicine the whole time, because then I would still like cherry flavored things. And Tiff was like, oh, you wanted the liquid chalk medicine? And I was like, oh, fuck me.
This is just making perfect sense. I mean, you're reclaiming your childhood. You're after that chalk medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Pepto. Have you had Pepto?
No, I have
It
never.
tastes just like that. You'll love it.
No, I gotta stay away from it. I need to be in remission.
Yeah, don't be like me. I used to love it a lot.
I bought you a lot of Pepto.
I know. I love Pepto.
I would like gift it to Vanessa for Christmas.
Wait, you're probably too young for Fun Dip, right? Did you ever eat Fun Dip?
No, I love Fun Dip.
He really loves albedo.
That, because when I think of anything that tastes like chalk, I think of like the little stick, the Fun
Because
Dip.
it looks
you're
like a
right.
stick of chalk.
Albedo is her fun dip.
Anyway, so Kirara just like screeched at me from the corner. She was like, what are you guys talking about?
She's like, albedo again.
Not this. Not this.
This conversation happens every night, and I'm like, Kirara, why are you in my house? but anyway,
She
Two little
scurries
cats,
up the
yeah.
wall.
I'm like, how has my dog not found you yet? She's like, I live in the walls.
Oh my god.
So Kirara has brought us a few mail pieces from some travelers this week. And our first message comes from MJ, and they said, what kind of music or any particular music groups do you think each of the Archons would listen to? So I thought we would go in Archon orders, like we'll all name our Archon. We'll start with Venti.
My son.
I got this one.
Oh.
I said Spice Girls.
Oh my god.
That is so funny.
Because he's so cheerful and just like, couldn't you just see him like going, girl power? And like,
if you want to be my lover, walking down the steps of Mondstadt.
like also kind of messy, you know? But in the spirit of messy, like my backup answer is just Charlie XCX, Brat. That's it.
He's having a
On a
Brad
loop.
Summer. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love that.
So for me, I've said that he is listening to like Regina Spektor, Cave Town, or MXM Tune. I really like the last one, but I think like those three, just like vibey girl pop
Okay.
music.
I like that. Yeah.
That's cute. I could see him doing that.
I went with bar rock, so he's totally the one who's singing those extra lyrics to Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond.
Oh, jeez.
So he's right there doing the
That's a pet peeve for me. You know that, right?
yeah, I know.
The ba-ba-ba. Ooh. Sweet Caroline at a wedding, the worst thing ever.
What do you think?
I put him as he likes like folky punk. Like I think it's like him being kind of folky and then getting drunk. Kind of feels like he would listen to Against Me or like Gaslight Anthem, Violent Femmes, the Pokes, you know, maybe even the Clash when he's feeling like more punk.
I think I have a playlist that I'm now going to change to Venti's playlist.
Neutral Milk Hotel, you know, like those kind of bands. Like that's how I feel.
That is so cute that you think he's smart enough for any of that.
He's a billion years old. What are you talking about? He may as well have invented the genre. You don't know.
I just love it that because we know how much you love Venti, and I'm like, in your head, he is kind of like intelligent.
That's not the kind of music I like either. So that's, you know, I just think he's a fully fleshed out character, and I just see it, you know, with the whole his whole like bard thing.
The three of us are just like, he's a bimbo prancing around
I'm like,
the square.
He's a bard, but he's angry. Punk. Secretly folky punk.
So next up we have the one and only Rockman, Xiangling.
And I went with 70s rock for that reason. I was like, he is listening to like Rolling Stones and
Rolling Stones.
How did I do that?
That's so funny.
Oh my God, I didn't even do it on purpose. I'm almost like upset about that.
It's just second nature now for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Stop.
But Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd.
The old classic rock.
I took it a step further back. And I said that he'd be listening to like the Mamas and the Papas.
Oh my God.
Or the Temptations. Or if he wanted to get a little bit more mod, maybe Phil Collins. Like he's just got the Tarzan soundtrack on repeat.
Oh jeez.
He's like, you'll be in my heart to Zhao and Hu Tao. He's like, my children, my dead girlfriend, Gui Shang.
So I said Johnny Cash.
Mm.
Just again, I think there's a theme here. Older people.
You guys are awful. I disagree.
I wonder if he sings Ring of Fire to Xiangling.
Oh, jeez. I was thinking that earlier when you called it that.
Yeah, that's why I called the Ring of Fire.
Especially when she's having diarrhea.
Oh.
I don't agree with you guys making my dude so old. I think he likes more modern, kind of proggy metal, like Gojira or like Mastodon, Dream Theater, Meshuggah. Like I feel like he's into the rock. Like I feel like he's like trying to tap in. Maybe it's a midlife crisis thing. I don't know, but I feel like he likes that kind of stuff. But it's proggy. It's not just like screaming metal. It's like kind of more intelligent metal.
Did I ever tell you about the first date I went on where the dude showed up in gym shorts and a Dream Theater t-shirt?
Oh my God.
You should have scooped him up. That's a good guy right there. Or a cringe guy.
Yeah,
Gym
that was
shorts.
The first
the
and
gym
last.
Shorts.
Fun fact, my mom loves Dream Theater. Always has.
Oh, really?
She's a big fan. It's like theater metal. It's very theater. Anyway, that's why I see Xiangling as like getting into.
Okay, so then next up on the list is A. And so I put it for A, a real weird mix, but I feel like she really doesn't know what she likes. And so these are for like her different vibes, you know? SZA, The Cranberries, Rihanna, and Girl in Red.
Wow.
Oh, I like Girl in Red.
A lot of emotions.
Listen, I'll be quick. This was easy for me. I just put she likes meditation music.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Like the stuff just what you listen to when you get a massage. That's it. It's a cop-out answer, but that's all I could think of.
No, it's good though.
I like that you went with like the Enya vibe, and I was like, it's EDM. 100%. She loves going to beat the narwhal just for the dubstep.
Oh, me too.
So, not that it's EDM, but in the electronic vein, I said I have two answers for this one as well. I'm sorry.
You always have two answers.
We can never have one. We can never have one.
The first one is Bjork.
Oh my
I could
God.
see that. That makes sense.
Why would you do that?
It makes sense.
Because
I actually thought of it.
I love her, and you made her like
I know.
Bjork.
That's why I came up with a second answer to.
I like Bjork though.
I love Bjork, but I feel like Bjork is like has such a weird mixture, kind of like what Feeny was saying, where it's like she's like in a transition, like emotional transition point in her life in the storyline. You know, she's like coming out of the meditation and is like, she's had like these really angry sort of vibes before, but then she's also like weird and introspective and like lives in her own head. And Bjork, her music style is like all over the place. She also has she has some like really melodic stuff, some stuff that's like really hard to listen to. And like it's kind of difficult. So that's why she popped into my head. But then I was like, oh, Tiff hates Bjork. So first I have to say it, but then I also have to pick someone else. So my other pick to make Tiff happy is Boy Harsher, because that's just kind of like a dark, electronica pop type of vibe. And it's like kind of sexy. And I think that's also a good fit for her.
Yeah.
Okay. So then next up we have Nahida.
Nahida is all about the hardcore. You know, that little baby is out there just moshing it up. Come on now.
I had a hard time with that one, so I went with Sia because she's sort of like on the wholesome side of pop.
Yeah, I could see that. That kind of goes with what I picked, actually. I think she kind of likes like female fronted kind of indie stuff, like kind of like Tegan and Sarah,
That's what
like
I was gonna say.
Rilo Kiley, like Florence and the Machine, Imogen Heap, like that kind of stuff.
Cute, yeah. Oh, I could see Imogen too.
Yeah.
She likes to dance on keyboards.
So I didn't even think about real bands because I was like, she's a kid. So I said that she specifically enjoys to listen to Kids Pop 50.
Shut up.
Stop.
I was waiting for it.
Like Bananas in Pajamas. No.
Yeah, and the Wiggles, the best hits of the Wiggles. God. You know, fruit salad, yummy, yummy. There's
God,
over
Eli's
70
favorite.
Kids Pop options, guys. So.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Feeny listens to them in her car.
She's not a kid. She's like
she's listening to Bluey.
Oh my god, yes, I forgot about Bluey.
He's 4,000 years old. No.
So then we have Miss Farina.
You know she's listening to show tunes.
Yep, that's what I put.
She has got Phantom of the Opera just on repeat.
I just said the Wicked soundtrack nonstop. Or Hades Town, since she thought she was stuck in hell.
That's good. I put show tunes, baby, jazz hands. She's like, yeah.
I picked artists. I didn't think of show tunes. I put that she'd probably listen to like Florence and the Machines, Chapel Rowan, and Sabrina Carpenter, which I don't know if you saw Sabrina Carpenter's Grammy performance, but it's like screaming for Rena.
Yeah.
Now I gotta watch that.
Yeah, that's true.
It was.
I was like, yep, this is it.
But I could actually see Chapel for her more than Sabrina, just in terms of like
camp,
multiple songs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would think for me personally, I only added Sabrina because of her Grammy performance.
Right.
Like it's so Farina coded.
I gotta watch that.
Yes, you do. You gotta report back.
I would say that now her and Nahida maybe could listen to music together.
You can listen to Kids Bop together.
Now.
But so then last but most certainly not least, we have Moeka, our Pyro Archon.
Wait, does Nuvalet count?
I wasn't sure, so I did one for him
I
too.
did one for him
too. Let's hear it.
I was like, there's two kind of Archons, I guess. I just think he likes classical music. It's a very basic answer. But
I was thinking that too, but I was really trying to like rack my brain, and I was like, I know, I figured it out. Baby girl is listening to Lana Del Rey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's so good.
Those raindrops just come a-tumbling down.
I just imagine him like going like, Risley is trying to show him how to use Spotify. And he's just like, music to bang to. And Risley's like, you can't put that in there. I'll just tell you.
And then Siegeween comes by listening to Katy Perry, and Nuvalet's like, turn it off.
Yeah, she's like, teenage dream. She's like skipping around. I imagine her though with like a Walkman, Siegeween. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, very dated, but
she doesn't have an iPod or anything. She has a Walkman.
Dang, I think he would like Amy Winehouse too, actually.
Yeah.
You say that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't make me go to rehab. He's singing. He's just depressed. He's
Fosolor. He's singing it to Fosolor.
Oh my god.
So then we have Mawika, the Pyro Archon.
I have a basic answer for this one, which is just biker chick music. So Guns N' Roses, White Snake, Motley Crue.
Okay.
I kind of said the same thing, and I said like hairband metal.
Yeah.
That's
Just like a
Hair
metal
bands,
slut. Yeah.
I don't know anything about her. I haven't played the Archon yet. Like, I don't know anything about her, so I based this on her look. I think she likes like trap music or like metal. Like,
Mhm.
I could see her getting down with it. I put Mother, Childish Gambino, and Chase Atlantic. Like, I just
Okay.
imagine her having all the coolest walkout songs.
uh-huh.
You know, with her sunglasses on type of thing. But awesome. Thank you, MJ, for the question.
Thank you, MJ. That was a
you.
really fun one.
Yeah, that was fun.
Our next message comes from Travo, and they said, all right, I wanted to ask this before Valentine's Day, and someone else does.
Before what?
Yeah, what was that?
Was that the Arataki way of saying Valentine's Day?
I wanted to ask this before Valentine's Day. And what is your what is your now hear me out ship with Genshin? And what I mean by that is a ship that when you tell someone, they sort of look at you confused and go, why? And you have to explain why you like this ship. For me, it's a bit controversial. I like Navi and Clorin. The art of the ship is cute and sometimes pretty sexy, and I can understand people shipping them, but I just don't get it, especially given that Clorin killed her dad. Well, yes, Navi understands the context and everything. I just feel like I wouldn't be getting together romantically with the person that killed my dad, no matter how sorry they were for it. So when it comes to a rare ship I've seen before, I like Fremine and Chiori, which I've never seen before. That's really interesting. And I could see it as a shy boy with a take no shit girl. Like, I could see Chiori using him as a mannequin for her clothes, but also making sure he's okay and teaching him to be more confident. Meanwhile, Fremine could show her new places and creatures to help with her fashion ideas, and maybe they can scuba date together.
That's cute.
Wow.
It is.
So,
As
rare
long as
pairs.
The age is okay. I don't know how old they're supposed to be, but yeah, I think that's cute.
Now, we had to include this question this week, not only because Valentine's Day is around the corner, but because Vanessa is the queen of rare pairs.
I know. I'm like, does Travo know me? Because this is me. This is what I do. Well, then I'll just go first. I do love a weird ship. Kaching and Kazuha has like been my favorite one lately.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's cute. He balances her out. She balances him out. Ganyu and Toma.
Oh.
Whoa.
I know it's weird, but it works.
It's weird, but
I'm not
I
mad
like
at it.
Yoimiya and Haizu.
Ooh, okay.
I like Scaramouche and Mona because big hot hat. And then my new one lately is I kind of want to see a polycule with Yelan, Ningguang and Beidou, and Clorind. Like the four of them in a polycule.
Whoa.
I know, it's a lot.
I'm thinking about it.
It's good, right?
It is. Like, they're all so like fancy looking, and like they would all look really pretty together. But
you got
also
armpits. You got everything. You got buttons popping.
Throw that armpit in there.
Buttons are popping.
Their personalities are all different enough.
Yeah, you got a boat. They're aggressive. Some of them are more aggressive than others. It's good.
They would take over the world.
I think so. It's a good
Not
polycule.
taking over the world.
It is a weird ship, though, right? It's pretty weird.
Power Cule. I love it.
Yeah, power.
The power cule. Oh my god.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to draw, just you don't have to get graphic. Just
I'm pretty sure there's already Ningguang, Beidou, and Yelan together, right?
throw Clorind in there. Yeah.
But Clorind added to that is very interesting.
Photoshop her in. Do you?
My favorite rare pair that Vanessa has ever said is we were co-oping the one day and I was playing as Tignari and she was playing as Fischl.
Oh my god,
and
yeah, that's
she
a good
like
one.
literally just runs over and stands next to Tignari and she goes, I ship this.
That's Vanessa's favorite thing to
You
do.
see it? You see it? Because I see it. Do you see it? I see it. It's so good. They like can work on their like archery skills together.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cute. I got a lot of good ones. These are the main ones I wanted to focus on today.
So I came up with some weird ones, or at least I think they're kind of unexpected. One of mine also involved Hazo, and it was Rosaria and Hazo.
Ooh.
One was, this is so weird, Yunjin and Mawika.
What?
Wait, Yunjin, the Geo opera singer?
Uh-huh. and Moika.
Huh.
Don't ask me why it came to me. It just did, and then it made sense.
Is Moika playable yet or no?
Yeah,
Yes.
she is.
Does anyone have her?
I have her. Mm-hmm.
Let's take pictures together next to Yunjin and her, and we'll see.
But I just love the idea of like the Chinese opera lady with the flaming haired biker chick and black leather. I don't know. It just works for me. And then Charlotte and Emily, which I think could be really fun because Charlotte would always be trying to get like a scoop on a murder scene from Emily.
Mm.
And Emily would be like, no, I can't. I have integrity. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I won't tell you. And then they kiss.
So funny.
And then the last one, I really love this one. Farazan and Xiangling.
Oh yeah, that one works.
Grandparents in love.
Right?
I went a little similar with that with one of mine, which is Lali and Xiangling.
Mm.
The oldies.
Yeah, the two, grannies, granny and grandpa.
Uh-huh. But this has been my own ship. I don't know how weird it is, but I don't think it's done anywhere, is Shenhe and Rosaria. I just love the idea of the two of them together.
Mm-hmm.
But my other one would be Aurora and Sarah.
Lauren and Sarah. I could see that one. Okay.
Yeah. The goth emo chick.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to ship yourself with Goru.
Oh my God.
That was what I was
Ends
thinking.
the episode now. I had so far in this, Carrara has been traumatic between the Bjork talk and then Goru.
No, I think you're mixing up Kirara with yourself.
It's a ship that's never been done before. You and Goru.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Maybe me and Miss Hina. Not me and Goru.
I do ship Rosaria with Kaya, but I think a lot of people do that. That's not that weird. Right?
Yeah, because they have that little weird bar time together.
But
I would
they're
be
just
surprised if they're like banging on the side.
I think they're friends with benefits. That's it. I don't think there's like anything there. Yeah.
I think they're just associates with benefits.
Associate.
Like, they're not friends. They just like have a drink or two together and they're like, you ready to go? Yeah. All right.
I have a ship about friends, like a friendship.
Oh, yeah.
I think Xiangling, bringing it back to her, and Sing Show could be, I mean, they're already in the same friend group, but I kind of like want them to be besties because they both have cute, like, style and hair and, fire and water. Very cute.
Yeah, it's a good balance.
I would love if they were related, to be honest. Like, if they were cousins, that would be so fun.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
So wholesome. Yeah, that
So
is cute.
it's not like a weird ship. It just came to mind.
You want them to be like gal pals.
I don't know. I feel like I've been exposed to too many ships overall that I really don't know what's a rare pair anymore and what's not. Like, my first thought was I really actually like Fischl and Bennett. That's like a big one I've seen, is kind of like Bennett is willing to like kind of deal with the crazy and he likes it. And Fischl's like, someone actually pays attention to me and lets me be me. Amy, goodbye. I'm staying Fischl. And then I guess like the rarer pair that I was thinking of, I actually was thinking Lolly and Venti. I just imagined them getting drunk together and also being old together.
That's actually kind of cute because I feel like Venti he's so irreverent, he would find a way to charm her out of spiraling the way she does.
Yeah, and also I feel like she loves reading because she loves her stories, and I feel like Venti's a bard who tells stories.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if this one's a rare pair or not, but because I've seen it a good amount online, but I also don't know how curated my content is. But I see a lot of Ga Ming and Fremine. And I also see a lot of Fremine and Kale. So I think it's Fremine's two like ships, like one hand on the other. Like with Ga Ming, it's like you're attaching the sad, traumatized guy of Fremine with the more like excitable, energetic Ga Ming.
Yeah, I like that one.
And then with Fremine and Kale, it's kind of like you're pairing the two socially awkward people together and they can relate to each other and feel comfortable with one another. We know with her healing and everything.
Cute. I have two weird Fischl ships I could throw in. Well, they're not that weird, I guess. I like Fischl with it's Fischl and Sino, I think.
Ooh,
they're
okay.
like weird because he's always like telling jokes and she's a wacko. And then but the one I really like is Fischl and Mika.
Oh.
That would be cute.
And there's a picture of it I'll send you that I saw a while ago. I gotta find it. But I think it would work. I don't know.
I think so. He seems very patient and would put up with like not understanding half of what she says.
I mean, he's literally used to dealing with an alcoholic brother, so he can do anything.
He would probably just like write up a glossary.
Oh my god, yeah, he did. Don't they have that though already at the Adventurers Guild?
Oh yeah, you're right, they do. You're right.
He just makes it make more sense. He's like, when she says
you know what he would do?
Utaglatin-
He would draw a map of Ertulang.
Oh
Oh, that's cute.
Well, Trevo, you really got our minds going.
You really get me.
You really revved us up.
Oh.
All right, Marika.
I don't know if I would go that far.
Marika with her trap music.
You guys,
Calm down.
you guys in the like the dating, what is speed dating mindset.
Valentine's.
My favorite time of year is Valentine's Day.
As it should be.
My favorite season. Only since I've met you.
Wow.
Mason, what?
Anyway.
I never knew the power of Valentine's Day.
Thank you, Trevor, for your message. That being said, that is all the time we have for today. If you like this episode and you want to let us know what you thought, or you'd like to let us know what topics you'd like to see in the future, you can feel free to email us at talesoftevatpod@gmail.com. You can leave any negative mails with Albedo at the door. He is waiting for them patiently, hopefully. Hopefully it's not Sus Beto.
No, it's Captain Beto.
Captain Beto is waiting. Captain Albedo? Shit. Captain Beto, Captain Albedo.
I'm the
Matt
captain.
calls him Beto sometimes, so now I'm confused.
That's the new ship, Beto and Albedo.
Oh my
Yes.
god. Feels wrong.
She would tear him apart.
I know.
Maybe that's what he needs.
You know
It's
what?
her size, you know?
If you would like to keep in touch with us, you can follow us on Instagram, Tales of Teyvat Pod, or on Twitter, Tales of Teyvat. Additionally, we are on Blue Sky Threads and YouTube as Tales of Teyvat or Tales of Teyvat Pod. You can also check out our Ko-fi, where you can buy us a cup of coffee, Diet Pepsi, Diet Dr. Pepper, whatever your heart desires to keep us caffeinated. All the money goes to making sure that we can pay for our editing softwares, our web hosting, yada, 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 and maybe keeping us up throughout the night while we edit and or research. Next week is next week, and it's going to be a lot. We have decided that to celebrate our 100th official lore episode, we will be discussing the Teyvat timeline. So we are going to be trying to take a lot of the events and questions and thoughts that we have and pile them up and see if we can create a timeline of Teyvat. It won't be perfect, but it'll be as close as we can fucking make it. So make sure to hang out, check it out next week. We may also have some special surprises in store.
Episode 100.
Episode 100.
Mhm.
100. I can't believe we've
100.
done this almost 100 times.
Technically, we've done it over 100
Yeah,
times.
that's true.
so proud
with our
of you,
shorts
Gwen.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a lot of shorts. We did our Freminute interview,
Mhm.
Paul Castro. So we've done a lot of little side quests that have also led us here too. And yeah,
Mhm.
we're excited to have Vanessa here with us, and maybe we'll get to hear from her again next week. And that being said, we'll stop talking about the timeline till next week. So until then, safe journeys, travelers. We'll see you next time.
Bye, slutty librarians.
Hell yeah! Bend over the back of the
So
book.
you.
No, it's bye, chef.
Come back to the
Bye, chef.